I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men. Leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior, and you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
Guess what, Mom? When I grow up, I want to meet and fall in love with a peeping Tom, pervert, who can't control himself, sex weirdo, cop killer, child pornographer, sexual trafficker, whatever, who starves me to death. That is not said by anybody ever. Mr. Perry, this is illegal. Peeping is illegal. Hacking is illegal. Stalking is illegal. Coercion and witness tampering is illegal. Grand larceny with intent to coerce is illegal. No one should have to sue somebody to make them leave them alone. 4 times I've had to sue Mr. Perry. The first time I didn't ask for anything money-wise. Just, Judge, you can leave me the fuck alone. I can make my own money. Everybody can see that, Mr. Perry. If she's broke, he's taking her money. There's no reason for that. Listen, there's the lawsuits, Mr. Perry, are to be rid of you. That is my intent. To be rid of you. You are not invited into my life. No one invited you here. I came here to get away from you. I did not come here to pick a fight with anybody else. I did not come here to have any kind of problem at all. I moved twice. Completely turned my life upside down. Changed everything to get away from you. Because you are a deep disgust to me. Deep disgust. Even if there was nothing else to peeping and hacking alone, it's a pretty sick puppy you have to be to do that. That is not Prince Charming. I am not in love with you. I don't care what you want. I don't want you. You're this guy to me. Pathetic. Nothing more pathetic than a bitch who can't move on. Leave me the fuck alone, sir. This is Cynthia Ortiz. These are the Cheryls Perry Stalker podcast. We do the disclaimer, use allegedly, apply the but-for and reasonable prudent individual standard. We assert our constitutional rights. All of them, which we just have, we're asserting them. On top of that, First Amendment, New York Times Company versus Sullivan, Garrison versus Louisiana, and every other case that said you have the right to tell people, like she does, you're being stalked. Like Polly Peretti. Drew Carey's girlfriend was murdered by her stalker. She was kind of, I guess one day something happened to her computer. And she got in the shower, and her stalker got in her house. Again, no sign of forced entry. Fucked up her whole computer. And her friends were like, you need to call the cops. She goes, and tell them what? There's no sign of a forced entry, and my computer's all messed up. What am I supposed to give them? It's very frustrating to be a victim of stalking. Sometimes you can prove it. Sometimes you can't. Thank God for her. This guy just did this, where everybody can see he's a stalker and he's a kook. She's not going to go on a date with him. She's not in love with somebody like that. Nor am I in love with you, Perry. You disgust me. All my skin crawls when you contact me. You're raping me. Voyeurism is a form of rape. I've been physically raped and I'm being voyeur raped right now. It feels the same. It is a nasty violation. A woman ought to be able to go to her house and not be violated. This girl can go home and she's got peace. Your house is supposed to be the safe place. Mr. Perry, would you like somebody to walk into your home, break into your home, tear up everything you have, get on top of you, rape the shit out of you? When you hit back and fight back, they tell you have to leave your house. Get the fuck out of my life. How many times we got to quote you for you to see that there's a reason you're getting quoted? Somebody somewhere is investigating you. Somehow they're getting that information from you to me. You seem like you don't get the significance of that, sir. Started with the McNamara email of 2015. What you're doing to me and what you say to people about me is so disturbing. Normal folk. It's not hard to get information. The more you bother me, the more you get told on. Never happened like that before in your life. Your guy said, when he pesters her and takes her money, things do not go well for us. We're seeing things happen we've not seen before. Your guy said that. I don't like you. It doesn't matter what you want. I don't want you. Neil here wants her. She doesn't like him. There's not going to be a romance there because she doesn't feel the same way. A relationship is when both people feel the same. They want the same thing. They want to hang out together. They want to be together. In 12 years, you've never had a date with me because you disgust me. I wouldn't be seen with you. You embarrass me. You're strange-o. You embarrass me, sir. I wouldn't be seen with you for millions. He bribes me. Make sure she can't eat until she does what we say. Takes the yellow brick road. I'm quoting those words. Yellow brick road. That's Perry's words. Also, I apply assert equal protection. Do you know Oklahoma has a Bill of Rights for victims? You have the right to be treated with dignity and respect. And you're supposed to get a copy of those when you call the police. And I've never gotten a copy. I found them when I sued. Google. Marcy's Law. Fail. Big fat fail right there. So, so now there's this new thing we get in over the last few days. I go, yeah, okay, let me explain it this way. Remember the National Stalking Resource Center has a video to which the link, I believe, has been posted more than once on the Facebook page. And it is about older stalkers using technology more often than not. GPS the phone, voyeurism, hacking, intercepting emails. Now even they've tried to forward my mail to where I don't know. Duly noted for the record in our court. You guys got a big problem with our prosecutor, Perry. Friday, I'm sitting here listening to them talk about making sure you don't file that appeal. I got it filed, but it wasn't easy. They threw up every obstacle on the planet. I'm trying to, what happens is he's hacked my phone. I've given a lot of evidence of that. I've given a lot of evidence that he's hacked my phone. Like the night Cheryl said he came to Carino's looking for me. That's just one of many examples. One of many. Paid a bill and paid the wrong one. 2 came in on the same day. One was in dispute, one wasn't. If I'd asked him for help, I only would have mentioned the one guy. You paid the wrong guy. You paid the disputed bill. Because he saw it hacking. It's the same amount. He paid the amount due to one guy to the wrong guy. And then tells me, thank me later. And I'm like, wow. But you weren't asked. I didn't ask you for help. I should get it on my computer. So you GPS somebody's phone. Cheryl Underwood tells me, calls me one night, Perry just walked into Carino's looking for you. Whoa. You're kidding me. We had been complaining about his aide would come in and sit right next to us. We went every Wednesday. Her church group, and it wasn't a church function. We all just went to happy hours, just the people from her church group. Every Wednesday to Carino's. Well, I didn't call Perry and invite him. Yet here comes his aide. Wow, and she said the whole restaurant to sit in. She sat right next to us. And we were like, did anybody invite her? No. What's she doing here? Hell if I know. Kind of weird. Yeah. One night I had to run errands. I forget my phone at home. If you GPS somebody's phone, you know where they're at. That's the new technology. Older stalkers in particular. My guess is older stalkers are doing more technology because they have more money. They've been alive working longer. They have more money. So, back to, I assert equal protection. 14th Amendment. Violence against women laws, domestic violence laws, stalking laws. I assert my right to not be discriminated against because I'm a female. Everybody stands up and, we got to get rid of domestic violence. But then get rid of it. I don't talk. I mean, your actions and do something. I guess the victim's Bill of Rights applies to everybody but me. Is that how that works? Thank God I have police from somewhere else helping me. I don't know what I'd do. I don't know what I'd do. But anyways, and you shouldn't have to sue somebody to make them go away. Like this, she had to sue him. She got a restraining order against him. No, but you're forcing yourself on a woman that doesn't like you. There's a whole bunch of women out there. I'm not Pamela Anderson. I mean, come on with this. There's a whole world of women out there. Go find one that likes you. And stop bothering me. Nothing more pathetic than a bitch who can't move on. Michael Weston, Sam Axe, that's from Burn Notice. They had a couple of stalking episodes. You're repulsive, sir. Stop waking up every morning like you think I'm going to change my mind, all shocked and dismayed when I don't. 12 years you've been rejected. 12 years you get to hold on more than ever in your lives when you fuck with me. It's a cause and effect. Put your hand on a stove, you burn yourself. Hot stove. When you fuck with me, you guys get to hold on. So, okay, so what happened that night with Cheryl is I go run errands instead of going to Carino's one Wednesday night. And I had a lot going on. I forgot even it was Wednesday. I mean, I knew in the morning, but in the afternoon, I had a lot of other things on my mind. And I'm forgetting, it's Wednesday, I got to go to Carino's. Then I had some other obligations I had to take care of. So I go run errands. I come back and I see my phone texting, are you coming? And I text her back, I just got home from running errands. I forgot that today's Wednesday. By the time I shower and get there, you'll be ready to go. So no, I'm not going to make it. A few minutes later, she calls me. Perry comes in looking for you. And I go, was he eating there? Nope. Walked in, shoots me a dirty look, leaves. He's looking for you. He's pissed. Where were you? I had errands to run. Not that it's anybody's business. So, how does he know if if he's hacked my phone and he's GPSing it to find out where I am, and I leave it at home, it looks like I'm at home. So how did he know I left? Well, he's a video voyeur. No, girl, when they're little, Mom, when I grow up, I want to fall in love with a video voyeur peeping Tom. Watches women in the privacy of their home and little kids. Sells them online. Remember, we have a witness testifying, Mr. Perry, as long as I've known him, stalks women, finds divorced women with kids, puts a camera in their house when they're not home, broadcasts them all over the dark web, and makes a shit ton of money. He's a sexually dysfunctional sadist. He enjoys getting women hysterical so he can go, and I'm quoting, rub one out. It's not lewd and lascivious if you're talking about crime and crime causation, genius. You are something with the drama queen bullshit. So, the question would be, and I didn't see that, Cheryl saw that. I wasn't there. I was running errands. Right? You guys try to say, we're not stalking her. She's just crazy. She's just delusional. Well, I call a guy up here, and I said, you got an expert psychologist, and I said, somebody's accusing me of being delusional. I got a bunch of texts and emails that say he's trying to kill me or arrange a false arrest. He then did arrange the false arrest. When he did it, I lost my evidence of video evidence, of blood and hair evidence. And they're trying to say I'm delusional. And he goes, well, you say there's a video and blood and hair evidence. Yes. Okay, when I diagnose delusion, I have to look at what you're looking at, and you see something I don't see. Well, if they got rid of your video, if they destroyed your evidence, then my guess is you're not delusional. Or they wouldn't have done that. So I wouldn't sign my name to anything without seeing your evidence. And the blood and hair, of course, needed to be tested by a forensic pathologist. So if that's gone too, again, my guess is you're not delusional. Cheryl saw something I didn't see. As did some people in Manford. Wasn't there, didn't see it. So I think the delusion goes the other way, Mr. Perry. This guy is not a one. It's not like she can't keep her hands off of him. She just, I just want to go out with you. I want to spend all my time with you. I want to spend my life with you. I want to do things with you. That's not what she's saying. Listen to this.
That's okay. I don't care. Leave me alone.
Mr. Perry, doesn't go both ways. Listen to the words I'm saying. I don't like you. You're that guy to me. I will never like you. 12 years, you're a rejected fail. Go find a woman that likes you. In fact, where is Jacqueline? Why you bother me? How are you spending your time? You need to prove that in a court of law. There's a lot of court of laws going on right now. In one or another, you're going to have to prove where you've been with your time. How are you spending your time? You better be able to prove you're doing anything but doing what I'm saying you're doing.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them, especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is bacon.
Okay, so if somebody is not interested in you, everybody else just moves on and finds somebody that is. Neil could go down to the, local bar and might find a chick in there that likes him instead of chasing her around all day. I mean, she's not interested, nor am I interested in you. You're just a stalker. Stalking is a felony, Mr. Perry. Okay, so here's the weird thing, is like, if they GPS my phone, I'm pretty good at ditching a tail. But the problem is, once in a while, it's not somebody coming up behind me and following me, which you'd have to know where I was by GPS on my phone to even get behind me. But I can ditch a tail. But sometimes what they'll do is they'll come up to an intersection the other way, to the side of me, because they GPS my phone. So I'm still getting followed. They're just finding a different way to follow me, so it's hard to ditch the tail. But why am I having to ditch a tail? You're disgusting to me, Perry. Listen to the words I'm saying. I said no. I said I don't like you. I said you make my stomach turn. I'm not interested in a romance with you. I'm not interested in doing anything but helping these guys help me put you in jail, and then I won't be raped anymore in my house. I won't be peeped on and hacked and harassed and starved. I'll never be broke again. Mike Neely goes home. So I'm not going to help you. You're off your nuts. Stop waking up every day thinking I'll change my mind. Then get all shocked and dismayed. Oh, she didn't change her mind. 12 years, sir, it's been like this. What in the hell? Why can't you control yourself? Why can't you control yourself? Go be normal. Where's your wife, Jackie, when you bother me? Get off me, rapist. You don't have a choice. It's the law. Doesn't matter what anybody else does. My guys are getting your ass. So, if somebody can do that, they can GPS. Then, when I say I'll go into a grocery or my work or wherever, or a restaurant, and a person that I've never met in my life approaches me and begins a conversation about something that is weird. If they've GPSed my phone, they can appear wherever it is I am and do that. So I'm pulling up and getting gas one day, not long ago, and this woman says, "Oh, I like your hair. What color is your hair?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know, blonde." "No, what color do you use to dye it?" "Blonde." This woman was very insistent on getting the exact name and brand of hair color I use, and who does your hair, and where is this person located. I mean, really weird. And I'm like, this is not just like random stranger questions. These are bizarre questions. And the woman was extremely insistent on, I need to know what hair color you use specifically. I don't know. I don't know, ma'am. So, Now, hang on. Now we find out there's a crime and a woman that looks similar to me committed it. And witnesses are telling Perry or police, this was the shoe print, I guess. Richard wanted my shoe print. And I would be perfectly willing to cooperate with police that weren't adversarial and had upheld my victim's rights. Obstruction of justice, destroying my evidence. You didn't do shit about that. And guess what? Now I'm mad at you. A lot of cops are mad at you because we have a dead Lucky and an almost dead framed Mike. Loss of life. You didn't prevent the loss of life. God help your ass. No, you're not getting a shoe print. I don't trust you. You were told that last night. Talking to somebody you should not be talking to. Getting information legally protected by privacy laws. Wow. I don't even have words for that. But apparently the witnesses have said this woman is a lot heavier than Cynthia. And I'm going to quote him. She's heavier than Cynthia. The woman I saw was heavier than Cynthia, quite a bit heavier. Skin is darker, hair's a little more brown. I'm getting pushed to go tan. Perry coaxes, like he did, coax Mike to Pensacola. Right? You're texting me on Facebook? Trying to talk to me on Facebook? Aren't you? How did you know Mike had to be begged to go to Pensacola? Who's the other victims of Senator Perry? Which ones are talking is what you wanted to know, actually, isn't it? So, we've heard this a lot. The woman I saw is heavier than Cynthia. Skin is darker. Hair color's a little more brown. And, my guys are withholding some of the evidence on that because I blow a gasket. And sometimes they don't want me to blow a gasket and say things that they have that we don't want anybody knowing or whatever. I'm not going to get into all that. I'm not allowed to say. Sometimes they tell me don't say. Sometimes if they know, I'll be angry and I won't be able to not say. They just don't tell me. They know me inside, outside, backward, and forward. I've known them a long time. A lot longer than I've known Perry. So the guys that got me this information and the McNamara email and the Fabian puzzle, those same guys, those same 40 cops, you're pissing them off right now. I said, don't contact me. And boy, you just keep going at it. No one cares what you think, Charles. No one cares. You weren't asked, were you? You weren't invited into my life. You're an intruder, not an invited guest. Why do you think you get to just impose and force like that? Don't you want to find a woman that wants you back? Because I don't. You make my skin crawl. You're a fail every day for 12 years. Fail. It's pathetic. Why can't you control yourself, sir? So that's the information that we get is there's a crime that's been committed and witnesses are like, well, this woman is a lot heavier than Cynthia. Hair's a little darker brown. It's blonde, but it's darker brown. Darker complexion, so I'm getting pushed to tan and getting questions by strange women I don't know, never met. Really, really not, I mean, there might be, I've had people come up and say, I like your hair. Where'd you get that done? I like your haircut. Or I like your hair color. Never do they insist on knowing what's the brand and what color. Well, if you want to dye somebody's hair that you're trying to, perpetrate a fraud upon a court again, a deception, intentional deception again, and pushing me to tan, even if she changed her hair color on the day in question, it was still the color it was. Tampering with evidence. Wow, you guys are RICO violation maniacs. That's your thing, isn't it? And then, if I start tanning right now, which I can't do because Mr. Perry doesn't think anything through. Oh gosh, if I want her to tan, I better make sure she has money to pay for it. Duh. You know how many times they've done that? December 18th was a bust. They worked for weeks planning that whole, we're going to, have Manfred arrest her. We're going to do another false arrest because Charles needs to announce his candidacy. So, let's do another smear campaign like we did last election, where I lost my evidence in the video, blood and hair evidence, that I was being poisoned. Attempted murder, because we got a stalker problem here. It's a lot worse than that. A lot worse than that. Our witness says he's selling watch time of children. That's child pornography. On the internet. Divorced women with kids. He likes getting women hysterical so he can go rub one out. He'll get them fired. Then he's hacked them so they can't find no more work. Then they lose their house. Then he has the ex take the kids away. He thinks that's a date. That's why you're in a lot of trouble, sir. And no, you're no Prince Charming. You're a disgust. And it's not that hard to get information. You're getting told on more than ever in your life. Because you fucked with me. You don't know who I am and you don't know who I know. I come from police. I don't even fit the victimology. I was supposed to help get you elected and that's it. Because I didn't fit the victimology. You know, you're flying too close to the sun there. You get burned every time, don't you? You need to control yourself. So, but that's the kind of thing he doesn't think through. He doesn't think through a couple of things. One is, if her hair is lightened or whatever to match mine now, that doesn't make it what the color was on the day in question. If I started tanning right now, I haven't tanned. I used to tan every day. I got hit by a firework on 4th of July in 2018. So I haven't tanned for years. They're starting to push me, go tan, go tan, go tan. And I'm like, what the fuck difference does it make to you? And if Perry's coaxing you to do something, don't do it. He's got a trick in there somewhere. Like Mike Neely, whose life was ruined when he took the bait. You're caught, though, Perry. Because the only way I can know about this is you have police that investigating you that told me. Like the McNamara email. Right? So it's duly noted for the record in our court you tried to frame me again. Not the first time. You need a cover-up. You need a lie. You don't have one, sir. It's already, I mean, this is out. This is out. You need to shut up and go away, Neil. If we're catching you all the time, do you really think I give a fuck what you think? You need to remember who it is you're talking to, sir. You keep getting caught when you mess with me. You're not all there, are you? A 6-year-old got it, figured out the pattern after the 3rd time it happened. You're not all there. Something wrong with your mind. If you can't figure out when you fuck with me, you get told on. Right here, that was last night. We need her to come in and give us a shoe print and she won't cooperate. And the person that you were speaking to, you shouldn't have been speaking to. It was a violation of my privacy rights. Again. He said, I think you've excluded her. If he's having to try to push her to go get a tan. I wasn't tanning the day in question. If he's having to push this other person to get information on her hair color, to get the other person to change her hair color to match Cynthia's, you've excluded her. You don't need a shoe print, and Cynthia knows that. Now you're just harassing her. I think she's just sick and tired of being harassed. Maybe leave her alone. That's what normal people do, Perry. Hacking is a crime. Stalking is a crime. Felony in Oklahoma. Voyeurism is a sicko pervert crime. It's not even Ocean's 11 cool. We did this big art heist, something. It's not even that kind of crime. It is a sick, twisted, disgusting, repulsive, you make my skin crawl and my stomach is sour and in my throat, vomit kind of crime. You're disturbing people, and so it's not that hard to get information. You're a cop killer, allegedly, so it's not that hard to get information. You don't understand what you're doing. You don't remember who it is you're talking to. No one has caught your crime as much as me, and you get in my face with this? Are you shitting me with that? Are you shitting me? You start threatening me. And I'm like, wow, don't ask me who told on you and then threaten me. It's built up over several years. It's built up over several... This is an international crime, Mr. Perry. You're broadcasting us all over the dark web. Everybody's seen it. What you're doing to me. Sexual sadism is a disease, sir. A sick, twisted disease. BTK was also a sexual sadist. He enjoyed binding, torturing, and killing his victims. And he said he ejaculated. Is this a sex crime? It is a Crime causation has to do with the sexual dysfunctions that would lead a person to go outside social norms into deviant behavior in such a way that causes a severe injury and a severe loss to another human being. I'm in criminal justice college, sir. I'm on the dean's list. So no, Richard, you don't get to have my shoe print. I don't want to be harassed by you anymore. My ringtone and my shoe print, you wanted both. Duly noted for the record in our court, sir. The guys that got me this information from last night. It happens every time you guys fuck with me. Every time. And you go right back at it. And then want to know who told. How'd you get that information? None of your business. I'm not even told that. If I'm not even told that, you sure shit aren't going to be told that. I'll tell you one thing. Do not again call around and badmouth me. I will sue the hell out of you, Richard, for slander. And the other person that was involved in that as well. I will sue you. You stop. Do not badmouth me anymore. You stop. Mr. Perry, you're the criminal. You are getting told on. You stop. Or you're going to keep getting told on until you're finally in prison. Get a grip on reality, sir. You're making a fool of yourself. Your conduct is offensive. You're getting told on. You're going to jail. You're being stopped when we get these. You're the offender. Your behavior is offensive. You're the deviant. You're the criminal. You stop. Get out of my life. Garbage. This is how everybody else sees you, Mr. Perry.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is bacon.
That is how the rest of the world sees you. So what happens is when you do an act that other people think is garbage and we're not willing to tolerate in a civilized society, then people get together and they make it a criminal act. You're a legislator. You should know that, unless you're delusional and unclear on what legislative duties are. We think that might be the case. Mr. Perry accused me of having a political vendetta against him. Why? What do you matter? What the fuck do you matter? I have lived in Oklahoma longer than I lived in Lubbock. For sure as shit, you don't legislate in Oklahoma. To me, you absolutely don't matter. I promise you, people in Oklahoma are not wringing their hands over what a legislator does in Hawaii, or Arizona, or Nevada, or New Jersey. They don't live there. They don't give a shit. And I don't give a shit about you. And I was in politics all my life, sir. My granddad was the power in the town where I grew up. An elected official and the police chief. Got a lot of people I could call. I don't need you. If I'm getting what you guys just said, do you think I need you? I've got some pretty heavy duty protection against you from somewhere else. So I don't need you. I'm getting protected from you. Your conduct is offensive and deviant and illegal, and you will stop. Because if you don't, when I'm quoting you, that's part of the process of you being stopped. You need to learn how to control yourself, sir. Criminals have low IQ and no impulse control. Criminologists tell us. Criminology is the study of why the fuck would anyone do that to another human being. It's reprehensible. We don't tolerate it in a civilized society. Richard, and I'm not going to say the other person's name. Do not again make a phone call and badmouth me, especially when it violates my right to privacy. Especially then. Sometimes that backfires on you. Maybe just don't do it, because I'll ask you to stop. Or I'll sue the fuck out of you. You know that I have enough. I already could do that. Right now, I want to wait until there's criminal charges against Charles, and then I don't have to deal. I don't have to, I don't have to deal with the irregularities in court. Mr. Perry, men of power don't have to get pathetic like Neil here. They can get a date. I watched John Ensign. I watched women throw themselves at him. And he's married. They threw themselves at him. And you've got women kicking and screaming and suing. Get away from me, weirdo. Get away from me. You don't have any power. You're weak and you're impotent and you're pathetic. And you have no control over yourself. And of course, we control your leaks. Always have, always will. That started with McNamara email, Mr. Perry. Get off your high horse. I don't want you. Doesn't matter what you want. You're forcing yourself on me like a rapist. You're forcing yourself on me like a rapist. You're forcing yourself on me like a fucking weirdo rapist. Like this guy.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't. Leave me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I
don't. Just talk.
Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, do you? Please, God bless.
Look what he says here. Look, I'm sorry, what she says here. Did he really just say, I don't care what you want? I'm going to force myself on you anyway against your will? And that is a crime, Mr. Perry. Guys with power can get a date. They don't have to force themselves on anybody. And you can't. Low impulse control and low IQ. Your attention is disgusting to me. It disgusts me. If you have power, go fucking get a date or shut up about having power. Everybody, there was a comment made by somebody not long ago. Mr. Perry can't even do what high school kids do. High school kids get rejected and they all move on. They find somebody else. Next. This guy can't even get a fucking date. He wants to be governor. Cynthia overcame a $25 million cover-up. There's no cover-up. His crime is more uncovered than ever in his life. That was the biggest waste of $25 million I've ever seen. That's who should be governor. I don't want to be governor, but the observation was, Mr. Perry, you fail every day. You don't get to force yourself on a woman that doesn't like you. You're getting told on, because you do. And we're not going to play those recordings at a party for entertainment, sir. They're already being played in court. You can just expand some wiretap orders the more people you involve illegally. You're talking to my landlord, are you? If you are, and the person that was spoken to last night, if you are, you're violating my right to privacy. You shouldn't be having those kind of conversations. Shouldn't have those kind of conversations. When I call anybody, my bank, my school, my insurance company, anybody, 20 questions on security to confirm it's me. So, get the fuck out of my mail. That's mail. That's serious. I'm trying to forward my mail somewhere. I've got 2 bank cards. One of them's been sent out like 5 times. I don't have it still. 5 fucking times. Get the fuck out of my life, weirdo. Somebody asked, one of y'all, I can't listen to these women scream, leave me alone. It's like hearing a woman get raped. How can you? What's wrong with you? You can listen to her scream like that? Leave me alone? And it not completely disturb you enough to make Perry stop? What's wrong with you that you can do that? I can't. Listen to this.
Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I
don't. Just talk.
Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, do you? Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I
don't. Just
Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, Seal. Please,
what
God
happened-
bless you, but
what
please leave
happened
me
was
alone.
that-
Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop
that.
stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's
No,
why I
no,
moved.
no. Just
Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No.
And leave me
Now, I said no. I moved twice, went to a lot of trouble to relocate and start all over again with the child. I was a single parent at the time. You have caused me to lose my house more than once. When I was in Lubbock, I did get behind my rent because you did exactly what the witness says. I've not said how you got cameras in my property now. Landlord pays the landlord a little something, the guy said. Or the maintenance guy, or gets a locksmith. Walks right into these women's homes without their consent, without their permission. Most of the time without their knowledge. How did I be the one that found out? You're fucking with people that have power, Perry. You're pathetic. You're pathetic. All you're doing is pissing off all the wrong people because I know people in power. I knew them long before I met you. Don't get up every day and expect me to change my mind, you weirdos. All of you. Why would you do that? I never do. It's been 12 years. You guys would get all shocked and dismayed. Oh, she didn't change her mind. Why would I? I got help. I got somebody telling me everything you say. They're getting that somehow. And you're missing the significance of it, big time. You're not all there. You're missing the significance of when I quote you verbatim, Charles. You're not all there. You're very mentally slow. It's embarrassing. I think that guy said that. If she's quoting what you just said, someone somewhere is getting that information from you to her. You're under investigation. Or that wouldn't happen. Maybe you need to pay attention to what that means. Richard, she's not being uncooperative. She doesn't trust you because you didn't handle things right with her. And if he's having to make someone change their hair color and make Cynthia tan so that they look more alike, the person who actually did the crime in Cynthia, who he wants to frame for it, then she didn't do it. So she's not being uncooperative. She's sick and tired of y'all harassing her. Coercion is a crime, Mr. Perry. That's being watched very closely right now. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. So, this right here got done. But it wasn't easy. Mr. Perry threw up every obstacle he could throw up. I do right now. I danced. He messed with my money there. My guys messed with it so much so it pissed my guys off. They hired somebody to go to every club I worked at. I went to a strip club because you kept getting me fired. Or making it where, Mr. Perry, shut up. He types in my computer. Did we ask you anything, Looney Tune? You need to remember who it is you're talking to. When in your life has your crime been caught this much? He thinks this is a conversation. I'm recording this. This is not a live feed. This is a recording. But a peeper hacker would know what I'm doing right now. You love proving out our recordings, don't you? You're something. So, my money problems didn't make any sense. And my guys were pissed that I'm broke. Because I went to dance because you were running off my other client. My political consulting clients, you were running off my... Actually, I quit political consulting, although he ran off some of those clients. Look at Todd Reno's case. CASA, he was on the board of CASA. We were talking about doing a fundraiser for CASA. Todd Reno ended up dead a few days before he was going to have a date with Jordan, Charles' daughter. People kept telling me, we don't understand, he's not the suicidal type. I don't think he did commit suicide. I think Mr. Perry killed him. I think Mr. Perry's serial. Serial stalker, serial voyeur, serial killer. So, they hire a guy to go to all the strip clubs where I work. And the guy's like, it's a vastly different on the nights you're not there than it is on the nights you are there. We've got to the penny how much you should have made. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. Starver. So she'll finally take my bribe and lie. And at this point, you have people going, and what's she supposed to lie about? There's so many I told you so's. I told you so. Mike was drugged. I said it before it was on the docket, before it was even taken in depositions, Mr. Perry. He's a police officer. He's a police officer. I come from police. That's my family. You don't get to hurt them. Richard, get out of law enforcement. You're why people don't trust cops. Right there. You're the reason. You're the reason. And you were told that last night, weren't you? To the person you were talking to, you guys. It wasn't just Richard, there was somebody else too. It's not that she's being uncooperative with the shoe print. It's that you're trying to frame her. And she's sick of being harassed. Leave her alone. Constitution. You don't get qualified immunity when you violate constitutional rights. Clearly established at the time you violated it. If he's having to make her, try to push her to get tan and get the hair color, to have somebody else's hair dyed the same color, it doesn't make it that way on the day in question. It's an afterthought. You're violating my civil rights in a huge way. It's ridiculous. And you guys get caught every time you try to do that. And you know there's an investigation because I just quoted you. I quote you guys all the time. You got leaks. You got wiretap orders. It's a whole big thing. So every time there's a court proceeding or pleading due, I'm all of a sudden like, okay, so now I'm doing food delivery, which again, they shouldn't know. Oh, there's a bunch of food delivery. There's Grubhub. There's Uber Eats. There's DoorDash. There's Lyft. There's like a bunch of different food delivery things. And I'm signed up for more than one, by the way. Oh, for God's sake. Mr. Perry, get out of my phone. Did you see that? That's called altering my evidence right there. I didn't do that. He did that. Get out of my phone, Perry. Get the fuck out of my phone. It is illegal to hack. How embarrassing. How fucking embarrassing and pathetic are you? So, anyways, I did get this filed, but it wasn't easy. And, I mean, I starved. I haven't eaten for 2-3 days now. Just barely. Snacking. It happens every time there's a court pleading due. And the same thing happened when I was supposed to testify for Manford police officer Michael Neely. And I didn't get to testify because you suborned perjury. You're about to go to jail, Perry. Our witness said it's about time somebody's putting a stop to this. I'm sick and tired of sleeping with one eye opened. He's a serial voyeur, serial stalker, serial killer. BTK. BTK was like you. He was married. He was a deacon in his church. And he was a public servant. So, wow. And a sexual sadist just like you. No low IQ and no impulse control. So, I did get this filed yesterday. I did not eat in order to do it. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. We need her to take the yellow brick road. We need a lie. You need a lot more than that. So, yeah, this is what the guy said last night. You've already excluded her. So, why would she trust you to give her shoe print, Richard? Ringtone Richard. Richard also wanted my ringtone. This guy got to prove she's the poster on Facebook. There's a lot of people posting, sir. Which one of us posts which post? And what's the crime? What's the difference between me or anybody else posting about being stalked to document it? We want to establish Maine's Ray. It doesn't do any good to say it after they do it. When we, or you, if you're in on that. We don't have the ability to prove Maine's Ray, criminal intent, malicious aforethought, if we don't talk about what we have before they do it. And a lot of times, they know we already know, and they'll do it anyway. You're part of that. So, we're like, wow, okay. It's to establish Maine's Ray and premeditation, malicious aforethought, and it doesn't do any good for me to say it afterwards, or have someone else say it afterwards, or someone else just says it afterwards, is it? Where law enforcement says, I want this out. You're getting in our way, Richard. We're trying to catch a bad guy who's causing loss of life. You got blood on your hands, buddy. I don't know you. I didn't come up here to pick a fight with you, did I? So the guy's like, if you don't need her shoe print. If you're having to tweak up evidence, like make her tan, and Perry doesn't think it through. Two things. One is, even if she tans now, or the other girl colors her hair now, that doesn't change what it was on the day in question. Number two is, if you're going to try to coax her to do that shit, you got to make sure she has money to pay for it. Like the 18th. We worked on that for weeks. Charles and Dave couldn't keep their hands out of her wallet. She couldn't even afford to go. I couldn't afford to go. The plans of the wicked will come to nothing. They will gnash their teeth in frustration. So speaking of which, I was supposed to be in jail and not able to file that appeal. From what their recordings say. I was supposed to be dead. From what their recordings say, and not able to file that. I was supposed to be starved to death and not even able to afford food, much less mail or a trip to Oklahoma City to file that. Every obstruction they have tried to do over and over, and they do it every time we're in civil court, and that is crime. And if I know about it, and I'm talking about it, who got that information from you to me? You're not getting it, sir. You're under investigation. You're in a lot of trouble. I have protection from you, Richard. Because you're trying to hurt me with an illegal act. If I have to go tan, and the other girl has to change her hair color, you got your suspect. You don't need me. Or my shoe print. Trying to perpetrate a fraud upon a court. A fraud and a willful, knowing deception on a court of law. Because you didn't want that filed. And Friday, our prosecutor tells me they don't want you to file that appeal or for you to be able to keep up with court processes. Do the best you can. At least get the one filed with Tulsa County. Get it out. The DOR, designation of record, and the amended petition that the court ordered to be due on the 14th. Because I can do a lot with that alone. If you can get the rest done, great. We're going to document for the record that they're intentionally impeding your financial ability to keep up with court deadlines. All court deadlines. I want that documented. I want everything they do that you don't like. I want you to say it. I want you to say it on the docket. I want you to document they're taking your money. I want you to document everything. Everything. Don't worry about whether or not they say you're crazy. They will. They'll deny it. They'll lie. They'll say you're crazy. Do it anyway. I'm going to use it in my case. And I'm trying to take away their defenses. You can't say voyeurism is there was consensual, complicit, whatever. When you've made it very, very clear, you're not complicit. You didn't consent. You don't consent. It's not okay. I am suing, Mr. Perry. That would indicate I moved twice to get away from you. Sued you 4 times. This one is one of them. You're being sued to get you off me. No woman should have to sue a weirdo to get him to leave her alone. Make you leave me alone. I don't like you. Leave me alone. And I guess it was Mr. Powell being asked, how can you listen to these women scream like that? It's like listening to a woman get raped. How can you listen to them scream like that? What is wrong with you? I can't listen to it. You need to do something about your friend. Something wrong with him. That he's putting a woman through that. It's not normal. That's not how you get a date. That's sick, twisted, some fucked up shit right there. So every time you get in my wallet, my guy wants that asserted as grand larceny with intent to coerce. That's what he's trying to build his case on, Mr. Perry. So you do what you do. And you too, David. Do what you do, but you don't have my consent for any of it. You don't have my consent to peep, hack, or contact me at all. And the more you do it, the more shit like this we get. I think you eliminated her. So quit pushing and harassing about the shoe print. She's not being uncooperative. It's not her. You should know that. If you're any kind of cop at all, you ought to know. You've already excluded her. You don't need a shoe print. She's sick and tired of being harassed. We have a delusional whack job forcing and imposing and trying to perpetrate a fraud. Is that the best you can do? Be the Sheriff Rowan in this deal? He's my bitch. It's in Clarice, CBS Paramount. Episode 2. Achilles' heel. It's a weakness we exploit. You can't remember from one day to the next what we said, that you've already got caught on that. Ringtone. 50-something 50-something emails about it, representing 50-something recordings about it, and they kept trying to get it. One of the guys said, you can't say she's crazy when she's telling everybody there's like 50-something recordings of y'all talking about getting a ringtone. She's got all that in emails. She found out because you're getting investigated. Somebody found out. You're not paying Mr. Perry. You're not getting it, sir. You're not paying attention. Who's telling and who are they telling? I have protection from you because you're a danger to me. This is fraud, sir. This is not what happened. I didn't do shit. Or you wouldn't have to try to push me to tan so I look like somebody that did it. Or get the other girl to change her hair color. That's a lie. You've been caught. Get a grip on reality, sir. You got caught again because you're being investigated. Ringtone Richard, you too. That's what the guy said. You don't need her shoe print. You've already excluded her. Don't call me again and badmouth me to people that you shouldn't talk to anyway. Privacy laws, sir. I could sue the fuck out of you, and you know it already. They're like, they'll do it anyway. Well, you can't say she's crazy when she's got all these emails about you guys need a ringtone, and then there's 9 pages to my service of phone calls within a few days of them trying to get my ringtone. I have calls go to a service, sir. Because Mr. Perry tries to call me, and I do not want to talk to him. He's a stalker. So on the political front, see how that goes to my... They had Philip block emails too. Yep, duly noted. Okay, this guy was John Inson's chief of staff. John Inson didn't do anything I wanted him to. I was pissed at him. I mean, certain things, issue-wise, I agreed with him. He's a Republican, so am I. I haven't registered to vote since 2012. I got to get away from a weirdo, a murderer, a serial killer. So we don't want him pulling voter registration records. I haven't even voted. I know a lot of people I call if I need help, Mr. Perry. I knew these people long before I met you. Federal. And you don't get to know who told on you. You still ask me every fucking day, and I've said, I'm not told that. Wouldn't help you if I was, because once you're gone, I have my privacy back. I'm not raped every day anymore. My family's at peace. We have peace. I have my privacy back. And I won't ever be broke again. And Mike gets to go home to see his family. And you're in jail. And we don't have to deal with you and your drama anymore. You got a little soap opera. You're a soap opera queen. Men of power do not behave like that, sir. I've been around them. John Ensign was one of them. Lopez was his chief of staff. Lopez and I had a screaming match one day. Screaming match. We kissed and made up, as you can see. But I've never accused Mr. Ensign of stalking me. Because he's not a stalker. You don't make up a stalker story. Not tell anybody for 4 years. Move, then move again, and then say something. Only my close friends knew for 4 years. I didn't want to be a scandal. I said that. Repeatedly. You guys forget who it is you're dealing with. It's something. Don't ask who told on me. Who did she find out? And then keep going at it like you forgot there's something going on that you guys keep getting caught. I don't have anything against you, Richard. I don't even know you. You're picking a fight with 40 men that protect me from y'all. Not just me. Not just me. So, please note for the record on your court, first of all, if Judy Parker's involved in some kind of court proceeding, I would recommend highly, Judy, so you don't have egg on your face later, Judge Parker, that you require Perry show how he's spending his time and where he's been. His residency's in question. He's always up in Oklahoma. That was asked recently. Charles says she's a threat. 1 minute, he's going around with a forged marriage license saying they're a couple. She won't have a fucking thing to do with him. Everybody started thinking he was a little nutty, a little wacky. Because in 6 years, he's always by himself. He's always alone. She's suing the fuck out of him. She doesn't like him. That's rejection. You've been rejected. Move on. It's not a crime to reject, I don't like you. Move on. Everybody else does. Why can't you? Can't keep up, can ya? There's no law that says I have to like you. There is a law against you forcing yourself on me. It's called felony stalking. Get off me, rapist. You make all my skin crawl. Nobody owes you a fucking thing. Grow up and act like a man. Nothing more pathetic than a bitch who can't move on. Politically, Charles didn't matter to me at all. Never did. He was the new guy. I'd been in politics all my life. I had 100 people I could call if I needed help. I didn't do Texas legislation. Your district is not volatile. It's not important. I'm sorry. Even you said Lubbock struggles to have a voice in in Austin, because it is a small district. 86% Republican. You can't flip that district. Why attack it? Whoever replaces you is going to be exactly the same on the issues, less the stalking. I've lived in Oklahoma longer than I lived there. I don't give a shit what happens in Lubbock. Don't care. I don't live there. I promise you Richard isn't sitting around wringing his hands over what the mayor of Minneapolis does. Doesn't live in Minneapolis, does he? What if the the defunding police thing? He didn't give a shit about that. He doesn't live there. I don't give a shit about you. You don't legislate in Oklahoma. And stalking women is not what legislative duties are, sir. You seem very, very unclear on what your legislative duties are. So, for the record, Judge Parker, if you tapped my phone and I'm trying to do food delivery to get out of dancing, because I'm kind of done with it, they're still harassing. That does cause duress when someone's hacking you and they can see when you get ready to go to work. And they've GPSed your phone so they can have some strange weird woman come up and ask you about your hair color and insist on knowing the exact brand and color you're using. Never had that happen before. And push you to tan so you look like the killer or the offender. She's not cooperating. She won't give us our shoe print. And you were recorded talking to the guys at my work too. That's been documented too. That's out already, Richard. We need her back on that pole and on a schedule so we can get her shoe print. We need her to tan so she looks like the person who did this. Wow. So, the other thing is, if he's hacked my phone, he can jam up my food delivery app, and I can't make any money. Then it's very hard to mail service and all that shit and get these things served if you can't make any money. Duly noted for the record, you did it again. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. My guy says, I want that documented. I want it documented. I want it documented. I'm building a criminal case. And if they commit a crime against you during the civil process, I'm going to get them on it. I'm going to get them on it. And the more you guys fuck with me, the more of this shit we get, don't we? Ringtone, shoe print, Mike was drugged. McNamara email, harassment email. I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures out it's not legal. Email. Over and over and over, you're making a threat to cause harm. You're going to jail. That's not how you get a date. You don't have a date. You don't have a real love life. You're going to jail, sir. And you're not getting that. You're very slow. Mr. Perry, did I ask you what you think? Do you like looking pathetic? Seems like you like getting told on. Because the more you mess with me, the more of this we get. Mr. Perry. You don't matter to me politically. Why? I didn't do Texas legislation. Let's just say I'm not pro-choice. But if I was, Mr. Perry, and I get you out of office, whoever represents you, whoever replaces you is going to be pro-life just like you. That's what the voters want. 86% far right-wing conservative Republican, 3% of the district. Your district is 3% of the state. Very small impact because the population of your district is low and it's 86% Republican. And the only way to change that is to get a company from California with a lot of liberal voters moving into Lubbock. Otherwise, that's not going to change. They're always going to want pro-life. They're always going to want pro-protection of marriage. They're always going to want pro-gun rights. So you are on a high horse like a motherfucker. You think you matter, and you don't. If you mattered, we wouldn't be able to get all this. But this is all the stuff we're trying to document right now for your criminal case, sir. You're not all there, are ya? That's the one that went to the Tulsa County Court. My guy says I'm listening to him all day. All they talked about is make sure she didn't file that appeal. You're going to jail, sir. I can't wait. I will never be broke again, and I'll have my privacy back. We can all breathe easier. Finally, ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. That's not a death threat. That's a saying. It's just a saying, Matt. It's not a threat. We get very aggravated at these guys because of the low IQ and low impulse control like criminals do. They don't get metaphors, analogies, snark, and sarcasm. We have to actually point it out. That isn't to be taken literally. It's just saying. Don't go into court and go, oh, she threatened me. Here's my drama queen dance again. If you didn't poison me, you'd have done that drama queen dance. You'd have had my blood drawn. It would have been a big old press conference. See, she lied. When you tried to have me, when you tried to do the last election, you did a false arrest. How come it is that every time you want to run for office, you want me in jail? That's not fishy. That's not fishy at all. Right? You're something. This right here is how Mr. Perry used to type in my phone. It says, give up, arrested. Well, I turned off the auto-suggest, and that was about 5-6 phones ago. And now he just types over my typing. It's very frustrated. I write covert, he says. What a wackadoodle. My Fabian's a close friend. Does Fabian know that? I don't think Fabian has gotten that memo. You and Fabian are close friends, right? Okay, you wish. That's what he was trying to text from my phone when I'm in jail. All the inmates telling me he's gonna harass the hell out of you, and then when you tell on him, he's gonna claim you're harassing him. And then you did it twice in court. You lied twice about that very thing. And I had emails going back from like November 2017 or something about that. That's been on here too. So they're all like, and he's gonna tweet from your phone and shit. Get rid of your phone. Second I get home, I get rid of my phone and got a new one. He's trying to text from it, not realizing it's disconnected. Wow, you're something. I don't know. And I'm telling him, this was in Lubbock. He was jamming up my computer. I couldn't get a fucking thing done. That's causing duress. Anything, Mr. Perry, that causes me duress, you're going to get a charge for it. Anything. Peeping, hacking, typing in my phone, telling me how you feel, what you want, your little whiny little drama queen act that you do every day. But I want you. Nobody cares. Shut up and get out of my life. You were not asked. All of the... Now I've lost my train of thought. Anything at all that causes me to rest. Intimidation tactics. Financial loss. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. My guy's like, I want it really, really, really documented that he's trying to force you against your will. And every way that he tries to do that. I want it really, really documented. So we're watching your civil case very, very closely right now. Because I'm going to use it in my criminal case. He's been fucking with my witness. He's fucking with a victim. I'm not okay with that. Most people aren't. You got your little weirdo group and y'all sit around and y'all talk. And, oh, I think we can make this lie work. And I think we can make her change her mind and lie for us. And blah, blah, and then you walk out of... No, I said no, Charles. I said no. No means no. When you keep asking me to, it pisses me off. That's coercion. Shut up and get away from me. Shut up. and get out of my life. He types in my computer, and then when I start screaming, shut up, he stops. This is not a conversation. It's a fucking recording. But for peeping and hacking, you couldn't do that. He's jamming up my computer. I'm like, stop. He calls me. I won't answer the phone. I have a voicemail at that time that said, hi, this is Cindy Ortiz, blah, 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 leave a message. Then text me like he doesn't know who I am. I did document that it was a matter of about my computer, so he knew I was pissed about my computer. But at the time, I'm trying to be discreet and handle things without it blowing up. I didn't want to be a scandal, weirdo. Then if you'd left me alone, you wouldn't need me to lie, would ya? What am I supposed to lie about? You do everything I say. That's been pointed out already. She did say Mike Neely was drugged in March 2020. That didn't come out in depositions till May. What the fuck is she supposed to lie about? He does threaten her with death and false arrest every fucking day. He threatens her with death and false arrest every fucking day. He already did it once. He's trying to do it again. What the hell is she supposed to lie about? All he's doing is making her go, well, I told you so. I told you so. I did say before. I said it before. You're going to jail. You're under investigation. That's how we get information. Those things, those recordings aren't going to be played in a party for entertainment. Get a grip on reality, weirdo. Get a grip on reality. I'm not asking you. Comply with the law. Get out of my life. You contact me, you peep on me, you hack me, you impose and force yourself on me, you take my money, you piss off all the wrong people, you get told on. That's the cycle. That's the pattern. A 6-year-old figured that out the 3rd time it happened. I'm not a special ed teacher. I don't know how to communicate with people that are stupid. I don't know how. I have no idea. Look, this is Cheryl's thing. This is Cheryl's testimony. When you showed up. Stalking. I moved twice to get away from you. Only a few people knew you had a weirdo problem. All you had to do was leave me alone. 4 years. I said nothing. Because I didn't want to be a scandal. That's the bill he paid. Shouldn't have paid it. December 31st, 2017. He wants to use me as a test case before the Supreme Court on harassment. He's harassing me. When I talk about it, he says he's being harassed. What a fucktard. That's not how that works, sir. Coercion is a crime. You're going to jail. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. And you don't have my consent. You're forcing yourself on me against my will. That's the other one. You agreed to leave me the fuck alone. In this, it says Charles Perry will leave her alone. That's my bond conditions. And I tried to put this in a courtroom and say, ask the judge to make a ruling. Is this a contract or not? And you had it dismissed without a phone call. Judicial impropriety. Malfeasance. Obstruction of justice. Destruction of evidence. You're fucking creepy, Charles. You're just a creepster. If you have power, go find it 8. High school kids can do that. Why can't you? We all get rejected and we all move on. You are pathetic. Nothing more pathetic than a bitch who can't move on. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. You're causing people to feel very disturbed by your weirdo problem. Stop contacting me. I hate it. I want my privacy back and I want for you to be gone. Do what you do. Because the more you fuck with me, the more we get. The more you fuck with me, the more we get. You try to get the girl to change her hair to match my hair. You try to get me to tan so my skin complexion matches hers. But not on the day in question. So you're caught, Richard. Don't contact anybody I know again. Don't. You break a privacy law, you gotta have a problem with that too. Charles, you don't mean a fucking thing to me at all. You're a job. You always were. You created a pretend land in your head and you look pathetic. You look absolutely pathetic, Mr. Perry. You stop. Shut up. You need to remember who it is you're talking to, sir. When in your life has your crime been caught this much? You have this. I grew up in the house of power. I mean, my granddad was the chief of police and elected official in Roswell, New Mexico. He also helped do the UFO museums. Like, he's been talked about on, like, Discovery Channel and History Channel and all that shit. You don't know who, you don't have any kind of life like that. You're just pathetic. Delusional erotomania means you imagine something that's not real. You're an imposition and a burden, not an invited guest. You're an intruder, not an invited guest. You look ridiculous. It's embarrassing me. It's embarrassing me. You need to control yourself. None of these were political. None of them. At the time, 4 years before I could have anticipated Perry would make that ridiculous, insane, delusional claim in a court of law. Guys that can get me that, Charles. Police that can get me that puzzle. Your name's not on that puzzle, is it? You're the butt-in. You're always just a wannabe. Never the one wanted. Pissing everybody off. Everybody's sad and scared. Got that to me in jail. Right up under your nose. You don't control shit. You can't even control yourself. Why can't you just be normal? Why do you gotta be a wackadoodle? These texts to Fabian aren't about politics. They were sent. Perry, no one cares what you think. Really. No one asked you. No one's gonna help you. We all want you gone so you can't hurt us anymore. These are dated in 2015. I was arrested January 29, 2016. Because you said there was a political vendetta. You lied. You seem unclear about your legislative duties and what they are. You're mentally ill. Our shrink also thinks you're severely mentally retarded or have Alzheimer's. Get the fuck off me, rapist. It doesn't go both ways. I don't like you. I don't want you. I don't want a thing to do with you. I've gone to great effort to get away from you, sue you, kick you off me, screaming, yelling, get away from me. You're delusional. You have delusional erotomania. You created a little pretend relationship in your head that's not real. 12 years, there's not been a date. I don't try to hold your hand. I can't stand you. A lawsuit, sir, is to make you leave me alone. No one should have to sue to make a weirdo leave her alone. And the guy tells, I guess, Matt, I don't know. How do you listen to these women screaming, leave me alone like that? It's like hearing a woman get raped. What is wrong with you that you can handle hearing that? And it doesn't, you just let it go. Get your friend under control. He can't control himself. You do it. What is wrong with you? I can't stand hearing that. Why can you? Something's wrong with you. Yeah, I agree. What does that say? A false arrest and my death is going to prove he is stalking. I told you so, Richard. Pay attention to what's going on. I mean, I'm not going to slow down for you. You keep up. Point out for us, on him, where's the injuries that look like he was in a fight? Read the arrest report. Red swollen right hand, nothing else. Busted lip from being thrown into the floor face first. After Chief Miller was already deceased. Point out for us in the arrest report, Mr. Perry, and on him, where it looks like he was in a fight. Red swollen right hand. He's got a needle in it, as you can see, from an IV. You pissed off cops all over the place with this. When you bother me, when you contact me, when you invade my privacy, when you guys get on the phone and badmouth me to people you shouldn't even be knowing about much or talking about, when you try to frame me for shit, try to cause me a loss or an injury somehow of any kind, I lose 1 penny, I lose 1 minute of my time, like having to do these. My guys get pissed. They go ape shit on you, and then we start quoting what you just said. Make sure she can't file that appeal. We're a bunch of hillbillies. Bunch of hillbillies. Hey, in the mouth, we can't even talk right, much less, figure out maybe we ought to stop, and she keeps catching us. Redneck something. Oh, gee. Yeehaw. We're just like, wow. We're Batman Dragon Slayers. Yippee-ki-yay. Getting it done more than anybody else you know. I have protection, Mr. Perry, from you, because you're a danger. No, Richard, you don't get to get my shoe print. You don't need it. You've already excluded me. If everybody's having to try to make me tan, because her, the offender's complexion is darker than mine. Perry didn't think through that maybe if you want her to tan, you had to help her pay for it. Let her make some money so you can pay for it. You want her out at Manfred on the 18th of December. Don't jam up her food delivery app so she can't make any money and afford the gas to get there. God, we worked on that for weeks. You guys are something. It's like somebody tied all your shoes strings together and you're all tripping all over each other. When in your lives have your crime been caught this much, Mr. Perry? I did that. You need to remember who it is you're talking to when you start threatening me. Alright? The appeal's been filed, and that is a miracle. First of all, I didn't go to law school. They have 5 seasoned attorneys. I'm way outgunned. Financially and on that. They're scared to death to let me file an appeal. So much so, I had to do without food for 2 days. To afford driving up to Oklahoma City. Still had to call my ex-husband. He had to give me money for gas. And mail. Our prosecutor wants that documented for the record. He's trying to make it where you can't financially afford it. Lucky and Mike got very upset with you. He ruined her life. You should have seen her life before he fucked it all up. He fucked it all up. And he thinks that all this happened after he fucked with her. So, yeah, he did it. And all she has left is a little bitty storage unit with the smallest one they've got, full of junk, and an old beat up car, and he's trying to take that too. No woman says, when I grow up, Mom, I want to fall in love with a guy who takes all my money, starves me to death, invades my privacy, rapes me, kills cops, sells women online, breaks it in while he starves them to death, and their children. You know how many times my children went without food because of you? I'm sorry, not food. My kids never missed a meal. But they did go without some things they wanted because of you. My youngest son was gut-wrenchingly heartbroken when his best friend, his brother, was ripped away from him. You did that. We know you did that. It was awful. He lost his home more than once. In Lubbock, I did lose my home. I did get behind on that rent. He makes sure I did. Then when I fight that in court, actually my friend Daryl offered the guy, the landlord, money to pay it. I'll catch it up and I'll pay it from here on out. She's been through a lot. Please just leave her alone. And he refused payment. And I still got kicked out. You proved my witness out, didn't you? Yep, you proved our witness out, Richard. That's how you do policing, Richard. Batman, Dragon Slayer. Yippee-ki-yay. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. That's all you had to do, and then you wouldn't need to lie now. And what is it now I'm supposed to lie about, Perry? You're coercing, you're forcing against my will, and you are being stopped.
I want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved.
Just
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved.
Just
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved.
July 2014. Hadn't told anybody yet. Just a few people knew. I don't want a scandal. I want him to leave me the fuck alone. Control yourself. We control your leaks. Always have, always will. You need to be a prudent, reasonable, prudent individual with good judgment to be an elected official. We're all for it. Our guys can get to you easier. That was the whole purpose of getting you elected to begin with, Mr. Perry. So you could be investigated easier. It's a lot easier for a cop to go speak to you at an event where you think you're talking to a voter or a potential campaign donor. You're going to be more friendly, more open than if he goes into your office to ask about getting his taxes done. You're going to get wise to that after once or twice of that happening, but not at events, political events, where you're interacting with all kinds of people on a daily basis, and you have Alzheimer's. You can't remember things from one day to the next. You may have talked to one of my guys 2 and 3 times and didn't know it. All of you have talked to my guys once or twice, didn't know it. But with Perry, it could be the same guy. It's ridiculous. This is so easy, it's not even fair. Get the hell off me, rapist. You don't have my consent to contact me at all, and when you do, my guys, get pissed off at all of you, and then we start quoting you. You need to understand the significance of that, dipshit. Mrs. Judge Parker, I'm tempted to call you Judy because you and I were friends. If there's a proceeding in your court, please do ask Mr. Perry to prove how he's spending his time, that he's doing anything but what we say. For 6 years. His residency's in question. He's up here all the time. Mr. Perry, 1 minute, goes around and flashes around a forged marriage license she's never even seen. Tries to exert spousal decisions over her. She's capable of making her own decisions, as you can see. She's outthinking him, easily. Doesn't have a place to even make those kind of phone calls, much less make a decision. And not only that, he changes it. 1 minute they're engaged, the next minute they're married, the next minute she's the concubine. I mean, he changes it all the time, depends on who he's talking to. And everybody thought he was wacky. 6 years into this, they've never been seen together. He's always by himself. Just hanging out with our friends and family. You guys were even asked, does Mr. Perry know that's not his family? That's her family. Does he even know? Like, we all know he's not all there. Elevator's not going all the way to the top. He needs to account for his time. I don't want him in my life. I don't want him sitting around on his fat, lazy, perverted ass bothering me. Where's Jacqueline when he does that? Where's Jordan and Matthew when he does that? Get him off me. Get off me, rapist. I don't want you. You make my skin crawl. I don't go through all this trouble to sue and to move. First I moved. Then I sued just to get a protective order. I didn't even ask for money. Just judge, make him leave me alone. Just get him off me. Get this ick, nasty, slimy gich off me. And then, I mean, it's if I can't eat and go to all the trouble to learn the law because I'm not a lawyer, I must be doing something right, or you wouldn't be scared for me to file an appeal and serve you guys and getting in my wallet and jamming up apps and causing problems, would ya? You'd let me in court, wouldn't ya? You gave me a lot of credibility. I don't think you realize that because y'all aren't all there. You're a little slow. But yeah, that's been said by a lot of people. He's giving her credibility. If she was crazy and had no claim, he'd let her in court. What would be the harm of letting her in court? He's keeping her out every way he can keep her out. Stealing her money, ex parte hearings. Let's make a phone call and get it dismissed so there's no decision on whether or not the bond conditions constitutes a contract. And on res judicata where there's no fair trial on proceedings before. It has to be. So if I'm going through all the trouble to teach myself the law, do without food so I can afford fucking mail and copies. And a trip to Oklahoma City and still gotta ask for help. That's pretty committed to kicking you off me. You're being kicked off, rapist. Get out of my life and shut the fuck up. Nobody cares what you think. You are not asked. You're like Neil. He's got to say what he thinks.
Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh, God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute?
Nobody asked him what he thought about her clothes, did they? No one asked you what you think. I don't care. No one cares. No one cares what you think, want, or need. You're a drama queen. You need to grow up and act like a dude. Reasonable, prudent individual who can make good judgment calls. Having to say the same thing to you over and over and over and over and over. Everybody else gets it one time. I danced with girls who were raised by drug addicts, didn't finish high school, and some of them were drug addicts too. Never had to say it more than once. You got a serious problem that the same thing has to be said, just like him. Leave me the fuck alone.
I'm serious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh, God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm serious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay. I don't care.